Well, hey guys, Saltwater Mania here, Tyler Johnson. Here to shoot an update on my whole system. Just kind of give you guys a rundown on what I've done in the past couple days. I went ahead and finished my surge device for my 50-gallon down there. I can show you guys an update on the algae scrubber and maybe just a few other things that pop in my head while I'm talking. One real quick note, just so you guys know, if you guys ever get a broken tank, I almost threw this one away. As you guys can see, there's a big crack right here, and I had it sitting outside. I was going to bust it up and put it in the trash can, and I was thinking, I was like, man, I'm always needing glass or always wanting a piece of glass for whatever projects I might have going on. So I got a broken 20-gallon down here, and I'm going to score 4 panels out of it. I'm just going to go ahead and whack it up, cut it up, and store the glasses in between a piece of cardboard or something like that. So if you guys ever have any broken tanks, there's a good idea. Well, if you guys remember, I used to have my surge device over here, and it surged into the main tank. I got to thinking, I was just like, man, what a waste when I could get this tank to surge and also this tank with the drain surge. So I went ahead and fabbed up my do-it-yourself surge device here. Originally, I built this real quick just to try it out. I just had it diving through these shells, one pipe. It blasted my whole corals over. There was so much power. I mean, we're dumping almost 20 gallons into this tank in just a matter of about a minute. So it's quite a bit of flow. So I came up with the idea to go ahead and split it into 2 drains. I did have a duck bill over there. Long story short, when I was running 2 duck bills, I didn't seem to get the amount of flow that I wanted. So what I did is I capped it. I went ahead and put a small hole in the end of that, and that just kind of releases some air. Now, if you look online, there's a couple articles from Carlson, because this is the Carlson design, or is this the Bowerman? I don't know which one this is, but this is the toilet flush style. And basically he was talking about, you can put these air vents in the tube, which will help gas some of the air out as the water comes rushing down the empty pipe, instead of getting a bunch of bubbles in the tank. Well, he was disappointed because after running his air valves, he noticed that it started to act like a venturi. So here, hold on, I'm going to go ahead and finish this for you guys, let you guys see. As you guys can see, my torch wasn't moving at all before that. That's how much flow we were getting down here on the other end. Quite a bit of flow. As you can see, I have this one just tilted up. Just kind of squirts a little bit of water over to the overflow. And if you guys can tell, there's no more pumps in here. I had 2 power heads in here. Went ahead and pulled those out. I'm getting plenty of flow now. I ended up having to add another drain into the tank, as you guys can see, and just to help keep up with it. Sometimes it wouldn't drain fast enough. So it's coming through 2 1-inch drains and another 1-inch drain. So I got 3 1-inch drains. 2 of the 1 inches are going to the 1.5-inch drain, and then there's another 1-inch. And it seems to be doing fine. I really like it. My plans with this tank, as you guys can tell, it's really ugly right now. My corals are just in here strictly to get cleaned. I plan on probably removing all of the sand in here, building one entire rack system, and adding 1 more 29-gallon surge on this tank and possibly another 1-inch drain. I'm going to basically have this tank have so much flow that I couldn't even throw a 6-line wrasse in here without him getting sucked up or swirled up. I just want to make this all basically a full-on acro frag tank. But yeah, it seems to be working great. I'll show you guys the design up in here after I finish explaining this real quick. So Carlson or Borneman, however you pronounce his name, was having issues with the air acting like a venturi once it vented out. So I came up with the idea of throwing check valves up there. One of these guys, so you guys can see, they allow air to go one way but not air to go the other way. I haven't purchased them yet, but I'll be putting those on the end of those, so there probably will not be any air bubbles at all. I know that a lot of people complain basically about the air bubbles and things like that. And hold on a second, let me set up my ladder. I notice a lot of people complain about air bubbles. If you guys do your research on YouTube or online, just look up Surge device or Carlson or Borneman Surge devices, and you'll see a bunch of tanks on YouTube. And you know, I wasn't too impressed with their Surge devices on how they completely engulf the whole main display and air bubbles. And I just kind of dinked around with this one, and I know it's the only one online that I know of that surges from the side. As you guys can see, it's not coming from the bottom, it's coming from the side. I also added another air vent tube, and there's also another vent tube here as well. Now I'll go ahead and let this cycle real quick. Basically all it is a toilet flusher mounted to a 2-inch thread and then a 1-inch bushing. I got it going from 2-inch to 1-inch, which is the size of the drain. Some plastic chain zip tied to the flapper and a 98-cent float, and basically just have it filling up with water with a really low wattage pump, and when it reaches the top, it basically pops the flapper and rushes into the main tank. So guys, this isn't going to fail. I'm not a big fan of the U-siphon type. I think they're a pain to get started and adjusted, and once they get going, it just seems like they fail a little too many times. This is, I think, as safe as you can get. You know, if the water was to keep rising, it would just go into this drain and drain anyway. So they're pretty much foolproof. You know, my situation that I got going on in here is a pretty mechanical design fish room. So something like this in a house, I don't think it would look as nice. But I've seen it done with cereal containers, 5-gallon buckets, 8-gallon buckets, or I guess those would be 7-gallon buckets. But they're definitely possible to do in a canopy. Use your center brace, and basically you can just set the cereal container on this center brace and do all your pipe work on the back side of the tank, and then bring it back in. So you know, it's really, really cheap. I've seen a 120-gallon tank with a 55-gallon surge like 10 feet above the tank, and it was the only pump in the whole entire tank minus the return pump. It was just insane amount of flow. So I'm a big fan of these. I think they save a lot of money, and the polyp extension you get on corals with these is insane. It's such a natural flow. It's instead of a repetitive flow from a power head. You know, your MP10s and your Vortex and your Tunsies, those are all great types of equipment. They just, you know, they break the pocketbook a little bit. So I'll go ahead and go over this design real quick. Like I said, there's a flapper here, a vent tube for air, basically at 90s down, and I have it rise back up to the height of the flapper. And the reason for this is for back pressure. If you don't bring this pipe up above the flap, your float won't pop. Basically what will happen is it'll barely pull up the flap, and it'll suck a little bit of water, and it'll just continue to suck water and won't pop the float without that back pressure. So that's what that's for, and then the water travels back down to the level that I have it at, and that's pretty much it. Now, these vent tubes aren't necessary, but I've noticed quite a bit of a difference in air for the most part, so that's kind of why I did it anyway. It was just to mainly see if it would do anything different, and it sure does. If I could go back in time, guys, I would probably just have a 90 here and then put my vent chamber right here, because I'm not a big fan of all this space getting used up, nor am I a fan of the amount of flow. When I had it just single piped, I hadn't had this extra drain in yet, and I wish I would have done that, but this is all glued and I don't want to mess with it. So let me know what you guys think about that. I highly recommend these. I've even seen people take 20-gallon longs and basically split the tank in half, have a flapper on this side and a flapper on this side, and basically 2 drains, so you get alternating flow surge devices, and you know, sometimes those flows will happen simultaneously. It just happens, but it really works good. And now that the flow's going right now, you can see it's really going to start draining out of both things. I'm going to be putting a 90 there. Yeah, it creates a little bit of air here, but I basically have it 90 to where it just kind of, so you guys can see, the water just kind of travels over to my drain that I have over there. So it really helps with surface agitation, which is kind of a big deal with this huge 6-foot radius tank here. I'm still taking my time-lapse videos, guys, or pictures. Algae growth is amazing. Phosphates are 0 right now, guys. I have certain corals and things that I've been monitoring in the main tank, and algae's non-existence on them. And I know that's algae die-off because I have removed all of my hermit crabs out of this tank and put them over there to basically clean my corals so I can hurry up and get them back on this this setup right here. Yeah, I got my red planets, some green staghorns over here, some LPS and things like that, but nowhere near the amount of corals that I had in the get-go. Unfortunately, I've probably lost well over 30 frags. So, from the green hair algae, a big bummer. So these are just some more corals that I'm having these critters clean up. Well, guys, I think that's about all I wanted to talk about on this video. Just so you guys know, the doser's still working. My numbers have been spot on since I've built that automatic doser, so if any of you guys are still interested in building one of those, they work great. Unfortunately, I don't know if you guys are on Addictive Reef Keeping on Facebook, but there was a little thread on there where we're talking about my green spotted puffer, and unfortunately he passed away this morning. He basically, from what I know, probably went down that drain into my main tank, and I got a hammerhead, a reflow hammerhead right here. I think it's close to 6,000 gallons an hour, and he ended up getting stuck on this pipe right there. You can see that drain, and that was the end of his lifespan. So I will be waiting to get the green spotted or saddleback Toby puffer. Once I get this 33-gallon run, I'll put them in the 20-gallon refugium that I'm going to have on that system. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think, and I will keep you guys updated. Happy reefing.